We are in the bathroom of the Holiday Rambler today, and we're going to take care of a problem that I've been having. These 12-volt lights were particularly common in the 90s in typically the more expensive coaches. They're 12 volts and they do have dual fluorescent tubes. They do work quite well, however I have 9 of these in my rig. Half of them do not work, and it's not because of bad bulbs, it's because the circuit inside has gone bad. There is a company that makes tubes that fit these lights perfectly. These are 17¼ inch bulbs, and their bulbs drop right in, but you have to rewire them and bypass that circuit board. This is not a problem because what I'm going to do is ditch the circuitry anyhow. However, those bulbs are $25 a piece, and remember I have 9 of these fixtures. So the relatively cheap and easy solution is to gut the fixtures and stick these LED strips inside. They're really easy to wire up. It really doesn't take a whole lot of work to do this. And the cost on these guys is $30 for 10 pieces, so that'll do 5 lights. I did pick daylight and temperature, but they do sell other temperatures, and I will put a link down below on where I purchased these. Now again, this is the Thin-Lite brand, and I apologize for the lighting, but I don't have a lot of light in this room right now. However, there are 4 screws that you're going to unscrew, and that will remove the light from the ceiling. After removing the light, you're going to want to kind of get it in a place where you can work on, and you can see there's really not much to these lights. The first thing you want to do is remove these bulbs. They just unclip. Get them out of the way. The centerpiece is just held on by a couple of rivets on each side. You can squeeze it together and remove it just like that. So the next thing we want to do is remove this piece here, the circuit board, and the piece on this side over here. They are held on by 4 rivets, and you just want to take a drill and drill those out. I find a 1/8 inch drill bit drills them out really easily. Now the only thing else that we have to do to remove all of this stuff is to clip the 2 power leads that are feeding the circuit board. On this particular light, and probably most lights from the Thin-Lite Corporation, it's going to be the black and the white wire. Once you clip those 2 wires, the entire guts you can pull out and throw away. This is the point where I like to clean things up. I'm just using a general purpose cleaner, and I will clean the front and the back of this light to the best of my abilities. On the inside of the light, I'm just going to use a little isopropylene alcohol. And that's because those strip lights stick to the surface of this, and we want it nice and clean with no residue. The LED strips themselves are perfect for these because the LED lights are stuck on this piece of aluminum which has a double sticky tape on the back. This will help dissipate some of the heat that's given off from the LEDs. And the fixture that these are going in are also extruded aluminum, so when these lights are on, there's not going to be a lot of heat that's going to destroy your LEDs. These should last a very long time in this configuration. There are printed lines that are the areas where you're allowed to cut them. So you're going to trim it down to fit, and in my situation I need to cut off 2 sections. We're going to take a pair of side cuts and make that cut right now. Now this light will fit into the fixture without any issues. And now it's as simple as peeling and sticking. Now inside the box you also get 10 corresponding plugs, and you get 10 pieces of double-sided sticky tape. We're just going to skin the wires on those plugs, then twist the 2 pigtails together. On this step you're going to want to be mindful of what wire is your positive wire. And in my Holiday Rambler, as odd as this sounds, black is actually the hot wire and white is the ground. Now this is a 12-volt fixture, but Holiday Rambler chose to continue with black being hot. To join those wires, I'm going to be using Wagos, but you can use whatever connector you would like to use. Wagos are kind of cool because they got these little handles on top. They open up. You shove the wire in the end, and you close that handle, and now it's nice and tight, and that's going to hold the wire just fine. And then I'm going to take the included sticky pads and put them on the back side of the Wagos, and then we're just going to stick them in place just like that, and that'll keep them buttoned up and quite tidy. And for a little added protection, we're going to put a zip tie right there just to hold all the wires nice and still. Now we can go ahead and put our cover back on. Not that it's covering any of electronics, but it looks nice and it probably helps reflect some of that light. The next steps is really simple. Just screw the light back up, put the diffuser back on, and as you can see, it's casting plenty of light. I've now done 5 of these, and I am really impressed. The light that is casting is a lot more than what I was getting out of the fluorescent tubes, and they use a little bit less electricity as well. The fluorescent tubes are pulling about 2 amps, and these are pulling about 1.5. So overall, it's a pretty simple modification. It takes about maybe 15-20 minutes to get them all swapped out and put back up there. The light output is really good. And again, I will put a link to all of the parts and pieces that I use down below in the description. If I have any issues with these at all, I will put a pinned comment down below. If you like these types of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take a look at some of my other videos, and at the very least, you might be entertained.